What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of The Real. I'm your host, BG, with my lovely co-host, Miss Maricruz. How you doing today, girl?
Hey, good. Ready and excited for this topic. Hot topic.
What is up? What is up? How's everybody doing today on this fine Tuesday? It is me, BG, with your co-host with the most, Miss Maricruz. How you doing today, girl?
Good. Ready for this topic? Ready. Let's get started.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Hope everybody's doing good. Please make sure you guys hit that like on the way in. It does a lot for all platforms. Miss Maricruz. We're live on 3 different channels. Miss Maricruz, BG31, and BGN Entertainment, as well as BGN Entertainment on Twitter, and Facebook on all of our channels. So make sure you're tuning in and hitting that like on all those platforms. But yeah, I decided to say we should talk about the whole Roe versus Wade thing today. I think that's a really big topic out there in America today. And I wanted to see about how you feel about it. Like, what do you think about the whole situation? You being a mother, how do you feel about it either way?
Well, you being a man, like, let's see your opinion about it, and then I'll tell you mine.
Well, as a man, like, listen, guys, these are all, we're just going to be non-biased. I really want to state that, whichever way you go, that is your choice. And I am, I'm 100% for it. We all have equal rights to believe what we want to believe in. So don't take anything I say as offensive or whatnot. And if I did, I'm sorry, ahead of time, because I know this is a touchy topic here. But I would say, like, I've never really been big on abortions. That's just not my deal. That's my personal preference. Like, I believe no matter what, like, there are situations, don't get me wrong, if someone was raped, if it was something forced that, wasn't consensual, then yes, I do think that, those situations should be looked at a case to case basis. But in terms of, like, boyfriends and girlfriends, one night stands, things like that of that nature, like, anytime that you have unprotected sex, you need to know that there is a possibility of you getting pregnant. So you made that choice, whether you was, sober or messed up off any drug, you still did it, and I just don't believe that, there's a lot of other programs out there that can help, people financially, can help people mentally, can even help with, like, after you have the baby, you can go ahead and, put them up for adoptions for loving families, for people and mothers and stuff like that can't have kids. So I really feel like that it is, it's one of them touchy situations. But at the same time, my personal preferences, like, I don't really believe in abortion. Like they say, like, once it's alive, it's alive. And no matter what, like, who had, my kid or whatever the case, I'm always going to make sure that I, as a father, take care of my responsibilities, whether I'm ready for it or not.
Well, I think it's like you said, in certain situations is, you know, be able, I mean, like, let's say the people that got raped, in those terms, I think that abortion should be approved because it was taken from you. You know what I mean? It was not something that you were looking for. It was not a one night stand. It was just taken from you. So because of that, I think you should be able to have your choices and a choice to either keep it or not. Because not only that, there's a lot of people that are not even ready to become mothers, and they become pregnant, and they end up. I don't know if you've seen the news. They end up throwing their kids to the dumpsters.
Mm-hmm.
They end up killing it. They end up just abandoning it at the park, at the trash can, at the
Mm-hmm.
store. They're unresponsible parents. But I feel like when it comes to being raped, I think it should be able to be an exception about it.
Yeah, and I agree. Like with all the stuff you're talking about, for sure. Like, you know, that is a touchy situation in that situation. But I
A
can't
lot of
see it
people
like.
say, a lot of people say, it's your body, it's your decision. But like you said, when it comes to one night stand, if you really don't want to know what the consequence of that is going to come, is either become pregnant, and not only become pregnant, sometimes it's worse, come with diseases,
Yeah.
sexually transmitted diseases. So I'm thinking that when it comes to that, put a condom on. Put a
Yeah.
condom on, be more safe, because nowadays, where I'm from, there's Planned Parenthood, right? And
Yeah.
that's where they have a lot of people, a lot of young girls that are not over 18. They become pregnant because, they make the bad decisions to be with their boyfriends and not take care of, or take precautions to don't become pregnant.
And in that aspect right there, that's what I'm talking about. There is situations like you said with boyfriends, unprotected sex, and stuff like that, where you're still not ready to be, responsible for a kid, and in those situations, they end up doing it anyway. Or like I, that's where that little whole like kid people not ready to have the baby, like the really, for me, like I said, that the rape situation pretty much one of the only ways I think that should be you know um allowed at all, because like I said, you're never really ready to have kids, even when you're older, either even um if you're a full blown adult, you're never really ready to have kids until you have them. You can be the best uncle, you can be the best whatever, godfather and all that stuff, but like until you have your own kids, you don't understand the joy. And then think about some of the younger girls that are out there right now that's already had abortions, and they're sitting here like they regret it. There's a lot of stress about it, where some of these people regret it their whole lives. They're like, whoa,
Mhm,
realize the situation after the fact. And it's
mhm,
like, yes, it's always scary in that first moment, but things like that take time. You know what I'm saying? Like even being raped, what I'm saying, I'm not even like it's 100% bad, but I'm just saying, even in that situation where that is a bad situation that happened to you, where it resulted into a kid, maybe in some of those situations that person should have maybe needed a kid in their life to help slow them down, or to help. You never know until like after you calm down, understand the situation, maybe get some counseling, get some talking to, and then I think that then you'll be more qualified to make a decision like that, as opposed to like right off the bat just hearing the news and knowing about it.
mhm. Yeah, but also look, there's a limit to be able to have an abortion too. It's not like you're just gonna get pregnant and wait until you're 4 or 5 months and you're gonna get an abortion. I think that I think they say that after 3 months they
Mm-hmm.
don't let you have an abortion because of the fact that after 3 months is not considered what, a fetus of what is
Because
it
yeah,
called? It's
yeah, it's
considered
fully
actually a
of
human.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there's also a limit to be able to. They don't let you have an abortion because it's not only risky for yourself, it's not allowed.
Yeah, and I get it. Let's get some of these comments in here. Let's see what people are talking about. Big Blue, how you doing, my guy? Thanks for stopping by. It says, get ready. You get the popcorn ready. Yes, we are definitely talking about a hot topic today. Lucas says, what's up, BG? Are you pro life or pro choice? It's I feel like I'm more balanced in the middle of both of those. I'm
Mhm.
pro life and pro choice. I believe that everything has the opportunity to live. You can talk to Miss Bergen. I don't even like killing insects for real, for real. Even some of the ones I'm scared of. Like as long as they're not messing with me, they just I kind of let them go and do their own thing. Like I just don't feel like anybody has the right to take another life. That's why I don't go to the army and all that stuff. But I just don't believe that that's what we're here to do. There's so much more other stuff to do. And then on the other side of it too, I do believe everybody has a choice in life because you only get one life. You know, you live this one life only. So I don't
Yeah,
really
but
feel
that's
like you
what I'm
should.
talking about. That's not considered a life if it's past 3 months because it's not developed. So how can you tell? I mean, I'm in
Well,
between pro and con. Like I said, when it comes to rape, when it comes of like situations like that, like serious situations that is not, you know, like that, I think that I believe that they should be okay. But when it comes to somebody that is just living the life, the wild life, and you become pregnant and you know what's happening, having unprotected sex, then they should not be against. But also, if you think about it, if those people end up having a kid and you see that they're not responsible, what's the future for those kids too? Because some people make those decisions because even though they had a one night stand, they still don't believe that they're going to be ready or they're responsible enough in that time in their life to have a baby.
yeah, I get that too. I get that too. But
So
like
that's what I'm saying.
Lucas,
So you
but
cannot be
Lucas says right here, I like what he says right here though. People think about all the couples that can't physically have babies or gay couples, that would love to have kids, but they really can't do it. That's where you can really kind of push. If you're really going to push this out, same sex marriages, couples that are of the same sex, then you got to be able to like, that's giving them another opportunity. Maybe that's the reason why this is really going through too, because the only part that is kind of, I really feel bad about is the whole having the baby. Right, regardless, even if you're not trying to keep the baby, you still have to go through the 9 months with the baby. Even to give it away. But I do think there's a lot of organizations and there's probably a lot of people out there, because I know some people that can't have babies, that would love to go, get a baby, pick up a baby, or
Yeah,
be able to
but
have
let's say the
and be
people
able to
that end
parent.
up getting pregnant and they don't get the abortion, but they harm their kids. Like I said, there's a lot of things going on in the news about people birthing their own kid in the public bathroom and throwing them to the dumpster or leaving them
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So what about those people that do
But I
crazy stuff
think
like that?
But I think those people also had the same choice, though. They had the choice whether they wanted a abortion or not, because it was allowed. It was able to go out there. Nowadays, they even have Plan Bs where if you want to go take, if you think you're out there a while, you can go take within the first 42 hours or whatnot, and can guarantee you're not
But
getting
I
pregnant.
heard, but I heard from people not all the time it works. You know what
No,
I
no,
mean?
that is 100%. You're right. I'm just
Exactly.
saying, like in terms of like Richie says, my opinion is women's choice and men should just offer their support. Yeah, it is woman's choice at the end of the day. Like that's where I say the pro. Um, what was he say? What did he say up here again? He goes, are you pro life or pro choice? The pro choice side of it is that I do believe everybody has the right to live their
So
own
what
life.
about this one? We're talking about just women's, but let's say about this one. It says Blue City Empire Sports says, I have a question. Does the father have a choice if he wants the child or not? So I mean, I don't know, because at the end of the day, the mother is the one who's carrying it and she's gonna make the last decision. That's why I think that it should be a count when it comes to the man, to the father, because there's a lot of cases that the mother don't want it, but the father would not care to take the responsibility and raise
Mm-hmm.
their kid alone without the mother. Why it has
Mm-hmm.
to be the choice of the woman?
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you that like yeah, dads do have a choice. The women do carry it. It does start with the dad though. Without that magical piece there, it doesn't work out. But just like the same thing without the woman carrying it and vice versa. But you can even have baby. They have babies inside labs today now. So I guess the woman side of it's not 100% guaranteed anymore. And you need the dad side. I do feel like a lot of dads get the shaft when a girl says they don't want to have a baby and they go get these abortions and they ask for like what's going on because it is a touchy situation for both parties. This is not something that is only affecting the woman. A kid affects both parties involved.
Yeah,
Whether
but
the
the
guy,
thing is that the woman has the upper hand because they're the one who's carrying it for 9 months. That's the only difference between a woman and a man. A woman, even if a man is saying, "Oh, I want to have the child," the woman can go behind the back and still to get rid of the kid. You know?
And that's wrong to me. I think in that situation it should be 100% mutual, because you don't know the negative psychological effects that can happen even for a guy. A guy could be like, I don't want no kid now, but like I said, just like the girl, like in that situation, that's what I'm saying. Like, you got to consider both emotions, because girls have emotion, guys do have emotions as well. They both parties got hearts. So it's like, yes, you're making a very emotional and emotional, like you said. There are love tons of dads. I remember in high school, I had a buddy. It was like, I don't really want to get married, but I want kids. I want to be able to have kids, without the woman. Where I can raise them and I'll take care of them and still be able to live the life that I want to live. I have friends like that. I won't put no names out there, but it's just like, it's a mutual thing to me. It's like, I don't care how much the women has to carry. Like, we didn't make the rule up. We didn't make the bodies up. That he gave us the ability to, to give you the seed, and he gave you the ground, the fertilization to grow it. Like, that was just a 1-2 punch. So that being a 2-part process, why you think gay couples can have kids, because they don't have both parts. You need a kid is 100% mutual. I don't even think even the way they do child support, I don't think a lot of these things in terms of men,
It's because
it's
it is
fair.
the same thing. It's the same thing when it comes to women's right. And this in United States, the woman is more protected and more valuable than a man. That's what
Hmm.
it is. It's not about that the woman carries the kid and she has the last word. Is that in this state, in United States, that's what it is. If a man goes out there and say, "Oh, a woman beat my ass, I want to file for domestic violence," you think they're gonna take them that serious?
They don't really that much, but it
Exactly.
happens a
That's why a lot
lot.
of people,
It
a lot
happens a
of
lot
dudes.
though.
That's why a lot of people, a lot of dudes don't come out because there's a lot of dudes that go through domestic violence. They just don't
Hmm.
come out because of the fact that one, they're not gonna listen to them, take them serious. Two, they're gonna look weak and they're gonna make fun of. So because of that, that's the reason that a lot of people, a lot of men that are going through a lot of things that a woman go through, stay quiet because there's a lot of more of women's rights and there's more support for a woman than a man. If you said if two couples go on and they have domestic violence, but the woman is saying this and that, you think they're gonna choose the woman's side or the man's side?
Right? The woman's side, yeah. A lot of situations, especially even where I live now in Alabama, unless you go get a blood sample, if you guys are not married, if you're not a married couple and you guys have kids, unless you go get a blood sample, and it's like like a 6-month little charade of paperwork, you are technically have no say over your kids. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Like,
especially like
it's
right
all
here.
the
Like
woman.
for the fact
The
that
woman.
the thing that I was talking about is about because Johnny Depp, like Blue City Empire Sports said, Johnny Depp won the court against his wife Amber, her for the messing
For domestic
the domestic
violence.
violence situation. It's exactly the
Hmm.
same way. He was going through domestic violence all this time when he was with her. If you follow the court situation when it started, you even can see some pictures that they will bring up. He was all bruised up, looked like he was scared of her, even when they were interviewing him, in the red carpet and stuff like that. But he never came out. You know what I mean? One, because what is people gonna say about him being a big star? Two, because I'm pretty sure is she will manipulate him. You know what I mean? Three, because they will not believe him. So she always acts like the victim, and he won because they proved that he was the victim in all this. But that's what I'm saying. Men like him are going through a lot of similar situation, but they are not counted as value because of the fact that there's more women rights. They believe more to the woman. The woman is the one more fragile, supposedly them, supposedly in society.
Okay. Richie says many expecting fathers manipulate their partners for their own self interest. Before Roe, a pregnancy led to forced marriages and women felt trapped within something, an abusive relationship. Sometimes an abusive relationship. So he's saying before the Roe law was even put into effect, these women felt trapped and they feel like they had to, a lot of people still today, I think, still think that way. Like there is still a lot of people, like once people have babies, feel like, okay, we're having babies, even we know each other for a month or 2 months or whatever, a short period of time, they feel like having a baby does mean that they need to leave and push a relationship farther than where it was at, or they want to go take the next step because of the child as opposed to the actual development of the relationship itself. So I get that too. Like I said, both sides have a case. I don't want it to be all talked about the negative sides of it, but like positive sides of it is like the pro life side. Like once it's a life on this earth, everybody has the right to live. Like I said, there's many options. Money will get transferred to help you out even more to the point where you'll have a chance of having this baby if you decide later on you want to have it. That's a big problem I think some people don't talk about too. What if you didn't want the baby in the beginning? So you go through the process of, filling out the paperwork for adoptions and, or one of those type of situations, giving them up to another family. And then, come that ninth month, you wake up and you're like, wait a minute, I think I want this baby now.
But you're practically saying some people keep up the kids because of the system that they're gonna get from the government. That's what you're trying to say.
Assistance
Yeah.
for the government. I'm saying that there is assistance for the government to help you through the situation if you're not ready for it.
Mm. Yeah, but they're not only ready financially, they're not ready mentally. They're not ready mature enough. So how do you want people to be raising some kids that they're not even mature, like kids having kids? You know what I mean? In that situation.
But it's always happened that way. That wouldn't be nothing new. That happens regardless whether abortions or not. Like my buddy in high school, he was what, 16 years old, had a baby. It's like he had to deal with it then. He didn't have to, he didn't. It doesn't really matter, that part I don't really think matters too much because regardless, like there are always going to be people that are not ready or mentally ready. Like I said, sometimes that is the point that helps get these guys more mentally ready for life in general. It's just when you're ready to take that step of being an adult or not. Because
do you think it has to do? Do you think it has to do with unprotected sex? A lot of unwanted pregnancies.
Yeah, I do think it does have to do like one night stands, unprotected sex. Yeah, definitely. Those are definitely main causes. You hear a lot of young people out there. I hooked up with this girl. It was tight. Yeah. Did you use a condom? No, man, I didn't have one, but it was good and it was cool. It's like, yeah, you had a fun night, but are you really looking at the side effect of that? You're not really thinking about what could have just happened. What if
what about the people that have one night stand? So this is another question. What about the people that have one night stand and they don't know they had a kid and they have kids around spread out and they never know that the girl was pregnant and they found out later on because either the kid knocks on the door and be like, "Hi, I'm your daughter. I'm your son."
No, I'm gonna get that one.
Years later.
Yep. That part sucks. Cause actually, I have a friend that was kind of going through that too, and that is hard. My one of my relationships in the past too that happened to, where it's just like you didn't even know. You think this one, someone is your father, helping you out, or your mother or whatever, and one parent left that out of the situation. So, in her case, we met her dad, and it was just a weird relationship. Like
it's not the same. It's not the same because the bond is like a mother. When you birth a kid, the first bond that you got, what is it? When it comes out of you, they put it in your chest, right? To bond with it. A father the same way. When you're holding your kid, when you're raising them, when you're there day by day, you build the bond. You know what I mean? So when you don't have that and they say your kid is 17 years old, 18, 19, 20, and they come and they're like, "Hi, I'm your daughter, I'm your son." How can you feel some type of bond with somebody you didn't raise or was not around for so many years?
You're right. At the end of the day, you're right. It's going to be hard. I tell you that much. But for some people, it's not hard. It depends what type of person you really are inside. If you're a caring, forgiving person, you might not know the situation. You
It's
might
not
have
telling you
been
forgiving. It's
And then,
about
like, what happened if that same person, like, was left out? Like, there's plenty of situation where the mother takes off with the kid and doesn't even let the father know anything ever, and then the kid comes around, and it's just like, oh wow, I didn't have it, but that dad is still right there, ready to be a dad. He wanted to the whole time. He just never had the
yeah, but
opportunity.
the bond you cannot have it. Not even if anything, that just it comes natural, and it comes natural by spending time with those people.
I think it just comes natural in your DNA. Like once you're around
I don't know.
someone,
I know a lot of people that they have the
once
same DNA and they still
once
don't
you
get
come around the
along. Don't
people,
want to
I'm
be
saying like
around them.
once you come around someone with a positive outlook on it, like, okay, yes, I hit this person hasn't been around, but I'll give this guy a chance, just because I didn't even know about him. You got, like I said, that just to me varies on situation to situation. Was the kid
Exactly.
was
But
the
there's
kid
some
manipulated
people.
growing up?
Exactly. But there's some people in certain situations that instead of coming collected, they come like you owe them something. Like they come like you need to. They need to. They make you feel so bad that they want you to, like, I guess, feel like you owe them your life because you were not there. You know what I mean? There's
Yeah,
situations like that.
yeah, and but a lot of those times too, those kids were manipulated early to believe something different about that person. Your dad didn't want you, or your mom didn't want you. They never wanted you. They abandoned stories like that. Growing up, where it might have not been 100% the right case. That's why I said it all depends on the situation and how that ends up turning out. But at the
What
end of the day,
about what about the situation when it comes to adoption? Do you believe that the people that are there don't have enough money or income? Because when you try to go and adopt a kid, they ask you for so much things that a lot of people that are willing and want to have, that can have kids of their own, it makes it so impossible for them to adopt because they ask and they require for so many things.
yeah, and I agree to that point too. And I think that is probably something that will be worked out in this situation, because now you're making these people have these babies. You're gonna have to put more money into these programs like you're talking about to make sure that the people that everybody should have an opportunity to get a kid. Like if they can't, especially if they can't have one physically, finances should not be a reason why they can't have a kid their whole life.
Exactly. But if you notice,
There has to be like a
that's the
program
first
that
thing that
helps.
they look. You gotta have a good income. You have to have this. You have to have that. If not, even though you say have the income, but you don't have certain things that they're asking, then you don't qualify and you don't get a kid. You know what I mean?
Hmm. He said, but after birth, it's nearly impossible to raise a child on minimum wage, just like in Alabama. I mean, in your state, 7.25. Yeah, Richie, that's really low. I'm not even gonna lie, that's a low minimum wage, but there are a higher minimum wage for certain jobs. But even on that aspect, like you can't really use where I'm at because cost of living. This is the cheapest state in the United States to live in, so yes, the wage level is not very high, but also the cost of living is way lower too as well. Like, the house I'm in, yeah, it might be 120, $130,000 here, but if this house was in California, you're talking about, $250,000 house, if not higher, $300,000 house. That'd be worth a lot more in that state. So it's like cost of living, everything. I think all the states are pretty much balanced when it comes to cost of living, and
No, he's talking about. He's not talking about the cost of living. He's talking about it's hard to raise a kid with that type of
no, he
minimum.
was talking about the minimum wage part, like saying it's hard to raise a kid
Exactly,
on
but I was
minimum
gonna
wage.
say with that
But
type
I'm
of
saying
minimum
like,
wage, it's hard to
I'm,
raise a kid.
yeah, but in higher the minimum. I was just stating on his minimum wage side of that question because it's like that doesn't matter because like when you're in states with higher minimum wages, the cost of living theirs are a lot higher too. So you're not that really doesn't really matter in the situation because it doesn't matter if you got a state that has high minimum wages or not. It matters the person who what can they do when are they going to go out and go get a job? Are they living on welfare? Are they trying to work? Are they working on skills to get paid more? You got to start somewhere, but it's always an end game. You got to keep
Mhm.
developing yourself if you want to make more money in life. I
What
guess
about people that are have surrogates? What do you believe? What do you think about that?
surrogate mothers.
Yes. What do you believe in that? What do you think? What's your thought when it comes to that? Do
Any
you approve
opportunity
that?
another person can help each other, they can help each other. I think they should go help each other.
But
If you
that's
want
a
to,
business. Nowadays, that's a business because now a lot of surrogate mothers make a lot of money doing that.
you can,
Especially, yeah,
because people pay anything to,
to have a
have a
kid.
child. Yeah, so it's a move. If you're a surrogate, someone wants you to be their surrogate mother. I think you should go ahead
That's
and
a
do it.
job. That's a new business. If you don't want to be
Mhm.
doing shit, be a surrogate mother. You get a lot of money.
But even that job's hard. You gotta look at, you're carrying this baby for 9 months, and sometimes that situation,
You get
same thing.
attached.
Yeah, they get attached to a situation. They don't want to do all
Yeah,
that.
because
And
I know I knew a girl that she was doing that for a job, but she did it because she wanted to pay her college school. So she would, you know, present her service. She would get pregnant, and once she did it like 3 times. And one of the situations that happened, it was like this couple, um, they wanted to have a baby, and they did that insemination, the thing that you put the eggs inside of you. And
Mhm.
I guess she was saying that the eggs split, and it was two.
Yeah, you better.
And well, she didn't, the people didn't want two kids. They wanted one. So what happened is like the girl took them to court because the people didn't want to take both of the kids. They wanted to only take one.
Wow.
And she's like, "Well, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what you guys gonna do because I cannot keep this kid because this kid is yours at the end of the day. It's not my fault
Yeah.
that the egg split and it's still your sperm, So that's your kid."
Yeah.
And I guess they want to court and everything else, and they end up having them to take both of the kids.
Yeah, you gotta do that. Yeah, you definitely will have
Yeah,
to do that.
so she won that case.
Richie says there are over 400,000 children in foster care systems that need forever homes, and newborns will increase that number dramatically. Now, I agree to a stint on that too, Richie. But I will say that I believe if they're gonna do this, they will have to. They said they were gonna be putting more money into these systems that help get more of these children out of there. Like we said earlier, foster homes. You know, sometimes you do get paid to do it. I know there's ways to get paid to do it, but then sometimes, like I said, there's people out there that have to go pay to do it, and they just have to pay to live. And right now, the system's set up for failure. It's not set up for you to really succeed. It's set up for you to
Mhm.
fail and to be broke and be struggling and trying to, struggle your whole life. So maybe that's the reason why there's less people going out there to try to get these kids. That number will go up, but like you said, there's always variables in that situation. I think the number could go up. There could be a number of kids that people decide now to keep the baby. So, like I said, I think there is something to it in terms of the point where a lot of people make rash decisions really fast when they first hear the news. They want to make a decision on it, and I think that's kind of crazy. They put the 3 month because you think about it, 3 months is enough time to kind of sit, chillax, and relax, and start really thinking about what's going on. So you got to that 3 month period, and then if you don't make that decision, then you got to keep it, or you got to abort it. But I think it takes longer. Sometimes it takes longer. Like I said, some of these people don't really realize it. I know people that cried and cried and cried that they're having babies, and thought it was the end of the world. And then, by month 7 and 8, man, they were so happy and so ready for it. And your whole aspect changes. It's a whole beautiful process that only a woman can do. And I think that is something. There's something beautiful about that. You think about women, they're in terms of their looks, even like they're the most beautiful they ever be is when they're pregnant. They're healthiest. They take care of their body more. They're taking the prenatal vitamins, so they're getting more
Some,
nutrients in them.
some
You know,
women, because some women don't care. Some women be still drinking, smoking, getting high.
Yeah, that's true too. I'm just saying, like, as something of a positive aspect of it, it's like it's a beautiful thing, the whole experience of bringing life into this world. And I loved it. I loved it since my first one. I'm always in the room. I like that first moment. As soon as the head start peeping out, baby, I'm ready. Let's check it out because it's just something awesome. So I really think more people would think about it a lot more now, and now it's gonna make people. That's another part of this. I don't think a lot of people talk about is when are you going to grow up and start being responsible? Like I said, there's some situations, underage situations, but a lot of this stuff is happening to people that are over 18, that are grown and out there in the world doing whatever. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I'm just going to go. I think of people that had like 4 or 5 abortions already. They're like kind of abusing the system. Like, okay, I'm going to go be reckless. and still continuously go kill another life, potential life. 'Cause I really feel like after it leaves the guy, it swims, right? It's alive. If it was dead, it wouldn't move. There's life form in there moving around. It has to get inside the egg, So it is to me. Once you do the act, that's baby, you know. Once you start feeling the symptoms of being pregnant, that's why it's called being pregnant. Because at that moment, you are pregnant. When it makes inside the egg, boom, bingo, it's a wrap. You're pregnant. So the whole 3 month thing is kind of a favor, I guess, or something like that. Because I think it's forget the 3 month thing. Like, soon as it happens, it happens. And some people out there take advantage of that too, that where they're out there having an abortion after abortion, and it's just like
But
you
it's
when
so
it,
much that the body can take, though. You cannot just have an abortion, because eventually that's gonna mess you up inside. That is gonna affect you for later on in the future when you do want to have a baby or you do get older. Either you're gonna be like those type of people that you cannot have babies no more for so many abortions that you did, or you can end up having cancer, or you can end up, because they have to clean you up. It's not just an abortion; it's painful. So I'm pretty sure because women that have have that, they say that they have to clean them up. It's sometimes they
no,
mess up the inside of the organs. Because I know a girl that had an abortion once, and not even an abortion, a miscarriage. It's similar to an abortion. Well, not really similar to an abortion, but a woman had a
mhm,
miscarriage, and they had to clean her up. And from there on, she never could have babies no more because they messed up her inside.
no, yeah. The
It can have
beautiful
a
thing
lot of
about
consequence,
the
like
beautiful
really serious consequence.
Yeah, the beautiful thing. There's some people that can have babies, but really can't have babies. They physically can have a baby, but mentally and health. I mean, not mentally, health wise, if
They're good.
it's more detrimental to their life. I
Yeah.
know people that want babies and they have the egg, they have everything ready, functioning perfectly fine, but the rest of their health, the rest of their body, there's something attached to their health that's like they couldn't really physically have a baby without risking death, because their body can't handle stuff like that. So, like I said, this is life. There's a billion, type of people, different billion situations. That's why I really don't think that, I think it's funny, really, too, in any kind of really big debate like this, any kind of big, because as you've seen, I think they said it was 40%, I mean, 60% say that they should have a right to have the abortion on their own, the pro choice side. And then the other percent of it says, like abortion's murder. You're killing uh, life forms that don't even have a chance to live. But if you see, even though that percentage is not 50-50, it's still like there's a lot of people on both sides of these fence. It's just
Like
like the
there's a
different type of
comment that here
Republicans.
that says Blue City Empire Sport, and that's so true what he says, because he said some parents don't want to deal with their kids that have disabilities. And that's true. There's a lot of people that are informed and they get I guess, an option to do it,
Hmm.
to like, because my ex mother-in-law, she is an older woman. And at the
Hmm.
beginning, they told her that the baby was going to come out right, good, healthy. And then once the baby started developing, the baby ended up coming with Down syndrome.
Hmm.
And they gave her the option, like, do you still want to proceed with the pregnancy, or you want to be able to cut short
Oh, I
now?
went through this. I have a disabled kid. I've
Yeah.
been through this process. I've been to that doctor's office that day where they come to you and they talk about that kind of situation. It's a very serious situation. But me and my wife, we talked about it. We were just like, no, this is not even a situation. We're already here. Once you realize, for me, once you realize it's a life form born and you're about to have another baby, that part it sucks. Don't get me wrong. Like hearing it and going through that kind of emotional, especially when you're already having kids that were perfectly normal. And both of us have kids before we met each other that were perfectly normal, and then finally, you have a kid that does have, a situation they're telling you it's not developing right. There could be, some people say that he might not even make it to birth. But do you guys want to continue on with this process? And we did. 'Cause like we said, we're pro life. Two, to the point where it's like once we had it, we had it. We're gonna have it. You know what I'm saying? Like we're gonna have it. It's our baby. We're gonna love him regardless. We love him. We love him to death. We love him. You guys see pictures. We post pictures and videos of his journey in life, his journey of walking, his journey of trying to be normal, like like everybody else, and he tries every day. But in that situation, I do understand it is definitely a tough situation, though. It's one of them things where it's like if you're not mentally strong as a person, which a lot of the stuff on in the media and in the movies and like it just in life itself can kind of tear that down in you. And yes,
Mhm.
you could, you could not want to deal with that, and that could be a hard situation. Like, it was hard. Like, I'm not gonna tell. I can't, even the day that he came out, that was a hard day. Like you see a baby and you're expecting to be all super excited, and like I never really talk about this, but like that day for me was, whoo, it was rough. Like, the baby's coming out and you're like, Is that a baby? Like, what's going on? What's going on with his arms? What's going on with his legs? Is there something going on here? Like, that excitement of seeing a normal looking baby come out, it's like, yay, there's my little one. Most parents get to go through, but on that day, it's not that way. It's like, whoa, he's not breathing right. You got to go under the nuke or whatever, the little warmer thing to get his body temperature up. You're dealing with stuff right off the jump. You're seeing visuals. You physically are seeing, a baby that's not normally constructed. And at that moment, like it was hard. Like I'm not gonna lie, I had to take a step outside for a second. Like I had to clear my head and get through it. Like I called my mom, my dad, everybody. I was like, wow, I can't believe this just happened to me. Like this is crazy. Like, really? But at the end of the day, I went back up there and I looked at him and he looked like me and I love him and you know, we have a good time together. It's like, you gotta be strong, through a lot of tough situations. But that's more like, before you get to harming your baby or doing anything, where you feel like, you're gonna do something that can not be good and beneficial for the baby. You just need to seek some help. You need to talk to somebody that's close to you. You need to, be involved with people. You should have friends and family members that you can lean on in a situation where you can talk. They can help you through it because you can get through it. You can get through anything in life as long as you want to get through it. So yeah, but I do understand like parents who don't want to deal with it. It can get frustrated in a lot of other situations, even after the baby. It's like when you see him trying to walk and he keeps falling, or he can't. You see him trying so hard to do something that that he's not going to be able to do. Those type of situations as a parent is also hard, and it's also something that's hard to deal with too. So, you know, um, that option though, man, I for me, I don't even know why they give you the option. That should be something that a parent should just come up with. Like, hey,
There's not a lot of
like
parents out there that
I don't
could.
know if I want to deal with this, but
It's not that they don't want to deal with it. It's just a lot of people don't have the strength. Like for example, like what I was explaining to you, the lady was too old. She needed to think that she had energy to take care of it. If something happens to her, who's going to take care of the kid? That are going to have energy or willing to do it and be patient with the kid. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
it's not that they don't want to do it. It's sometimes they don't. They're either their age, they're really old, or either I mean, they don't have the possibility to look for a daycare because they barely have money to pay the rent, or income is not good in their side. Because those
Yeah,
kids are hard work. You have to be constantly behind them, especially a
mhm.
Down syndrome kid or what is the other kids that are really hyper?
They're,
The
ADHD and
Yeah,
hyperactive kids, but even in
yeah,
those situations, like, especially like the Down syndrome, like, they do help you, you know what I'm saying? We could
yeah.
help, like, I gotta go to doctors and stuff, so, like, there is he
It's a
does get his
lot of
money,
work.
he gets the money at the financial side of it. I won't say it's as bad as that people might say. I actually think you get more money, the more kids you have, really. If you really think about it, like, you get more on your taxes, you get more, on your checks, you get more, if you got a disabled kid, he gets his own money too as well. So it's like it's the financial side of it. It's all about the mental side of it that really matters. Like, are you strong enough person to deal with the situation? Like or for a regular kid or even a disabled kid in that matter. You gotta be strong enough to deal with it. Like I said though, if you're not strong enough, really, I would seriously seek some counsel first before making a abortion or no abortion decision. Because I heard they're trying to make it 15 days or something like that. In 15 days, like it's gonna be all 52 states going on with it, and that's not no time. So you're not gonna even have a choice after a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
What she says? She says the government just basically took my right as a woman to make my own decisions. We have no rights to choose for ourselves anymore. They are choosing for us now. Yeah, there's a lot of women that feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
There is a lot of women that feel that way. You're taking away someone's right to have a baby or not. But then at the other side of that argument is like you're taking away the right of a life form being born. That's
Yeah.
what the pro life people are saying. You're taking away another. If you think that the world needs to get better, we need more people. We need to continue to expand and develop, and continue to grow out. You never know what you're killing. You could be killing the next person that discovers the next great thing in life. You never know in that aspect. It's a hard one. That's why I said from the beginning, I do not fault either side for believing in the way they want to believe it. There's good and bad situations for both sides. One of them things like it's bad if you don't have the right to tell nobody. 'Cause I do fully believe in that. No one has the right to tell nobody nothing. Really, at the end of the day, not even like the cops, not even jails, not even nobody. At the end of the day, we're all individuals. We're all human beings. We all belong on this earth. We all should have the right to do whatever we want on this earth because it's your right. It's your life. No one should ever be able to dictate that. So I understand that side of it too, because this is way bigger than just having babies. Way bigger, yeah, and it could lead to a lot of other things which people are talking about. Them being able to overturn something like this, maybe some of the other rights and the rules can get overturned now.
Mm-hmm.
And now that some rights, they can use little loopholes throughout the constitution to keep on changing rights that benefit them as opposed to benefit the people of the United States.
Mm-hmm. That's so true. That's why you gotta be conscious and make the right decisions. Wrap it up. Get some condoms. It doesn't cost a lot that much. Than a human's life. That costs more
Right.
than.
Yeah, and on that note too, it's like it is going to get to the point where it's like you might get people making better decisions in the future now. Like maybe it's going to be that much harder. It's not going to be so easy for all these one night stands or
I
things
think
that
what
could.
they can do is just make it hard on them to be able to have abortion because abortion is fuck. It's free, anonymous. Like put them in the spot. All these people after 3, 2, birth or pregnancy. If they keep aborting, put them in the spot. Or tell them you have to have what is it called? Vasectomy.
They
Vasectomy.
said to me, "Hey, I
Yeah.
got some friends. I got some guy friends that had, it got to the point where they had, like, I think 3 or 4 kids, and they're like, I don't want no more kids, and that's what they went and do. That's also a choice too, just like birth control. I remember telling a girl once, like, yeah, you need to get on birth control. She goes, you need to get on birth control.
Yeah.
Like you wear a condom. I don't like condoms. Okay, well, I don't like pills in my body destroying my insides. Like there's you can make an argument about
Yeah.
both sides on every aspect of that. So it's like, yeah, man, that's really becoming the only way to guarantee if you really truly in your heart do not want to have kids. And you're in a relationship, especially this is just basically for the people that are in relationships that they don't want to have kids. You can
Like
go
what
out there.
Richie MC said, in the Jewish religion, there is no baby shower into after the newborn is born. Why? You think that because maybe it doesn't make it? Because a lot of people they might have 5, 6 months pregnancy and they lose the baby. So I think they believe that once it's out, is a baby.
She's like Congress Miller said, this was a historic moment for white life. I remember I seen that one. Yeah, it did say white life, but she said she meant to say something different. But I don't know. Like I don't really get into the race card about that. Like I was just saying, yes, there's gonna be bad
Life is
people.
life, no matter what race it is. You
Yeah.
might be black, white, Hispanic, Latino. Chinese, Filipino, anything. Life is life.
People have the right to do what they want, but at the end of the day, that choice they choose to do could be the wrong thing or the right thing. Yeah, that's a variable that can happen. Like I said, like people don't act like there's like a not thousands and thousands of people that have had abortions that regret it. You know,
Then
that is something that is huge. That is a
it starts
big
with the
deal.
mentally.
And that's something like that. Like, you know, when you talk about the dramatic things that happen in your life, like there's some people that never get over that. You know, their
Mhm.
whole life. You know, some of those people end up not being able to even have babies. Like you said, things go on in a situation where they're not even able to have babies anymore. You know, and then they regret and they're like, whoa, I had that one shot to have a baby. I chose not to have it, and now I can't. You know, there's a lot of different ways to look at this. Like for real, like this is not no, oh, it's not a simple one side right, one side's wrong. Maybe for the reasons that either side are going, you can say that part of it. You know, maybe this is a bigger conspiracy to push for other rules and laws to be changed. So, in that aspect of it is wrong. But then there are like a lot of groups and a lot of people that are pro life that are trying to get more funding and get, you got to realize if they're giving all this funding to abortions to make them free and whatnot. Of course, there's not going to be that much funding for people that are having the babies because you're splitting the money. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to give the money to the people that don't want babies. They're giving the money for programs that do want babies. Now, if you have it one way, then there's extra money for those. There are a lot of great organizations out there that are pro life that are helping people in this situation. So they all have a lot more money to continue doing what they like to do, and we might be able to see a different side of it. Moving forward in terms of people continuing to have this baby, continue to having babies. If they're having them without being able to abort them. So like I said, like I don't want to sound like I'm pushing one side or another. Like I told you from the start, like I never for abortions in the first place. Like I just, like I said, there's those couple of situations, that those come up. Now you got me, and I'm like, okay, you should have the right to do it. But in terms of just being careless and carefree about it, and not using taking advantage of opportunities, things that you can do, even if you don't want to wear a condom or get birth control, work on your pullout game or something. Like I don't know, like if there's still ways to kind of maybe not ever really prevent it, but there's ways to eliminate. I mean, lower that number of chances for you to get another girl pregnant. So, or vice versa. So I don't know. Like it's more of a choice to me. I feel like it's than it's a bad decision, a bad night. Those one night stands sometimes they're bad decisions. You're out there drunk and you want to have fun. You have fun, all right, but that fun just cost you 18 years of your life.
True.
So it's a good conversation in chat. Shout out to all you guys. Leaving your questions and comments inside the chat. We really appreciate that. You guys are part of this show. We always want to make sure that you guys are involved, and we're glad that you guys stop by and help this platform and this show grow. So continue to do it, and salute to you.
See, this is the thing that I was talking about Planned Parenthood. Richie MC said Planned Parenthood does everything they can to help the expecting mothers become what mother before she makes the choice to get an abortion. Politics has corrupt everything about PP's mission.
Yeah,
Okay.
Planned Parenthood mission. Yeah, politics definitely play a big. They're not really pushing. You don't really see commercials on like, oh yes, we have, therapy for people that need therapy for having a baby. You're like, go to your local Planned Parenthood office if you're considering having a baby.
Every city has a Planned Parenthood, no?
Hmm?
Any town in every city has a Planned Parenthood, right?
I want to say that. Yeah, I don't
And
know
it
too many
doesn't cost
here.
nothing to go over there for any type of thing.
Yeah.
Condom, for all this extra stuff that you can get to prevent pregnancy,
Mhm.
it doesn't cost you nothing, right? They don't charge you, or do they charge you?
Yeah, they don't charge you. I don't think that Planned
So
Parenthood
what
has
are you
always been
talking
free.
about?
You can just walk up in that building and go in there and sign your name and get some condoms, sign your name, like if anything, they probably should even push you more in school to go to these places and sex education. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, your junior, senior high school, and around that time you're starting to get active. You know, they should make sure that you are, you know, getting this information at an early age to help you, you know, get
Mhm.
through anything that happens because you never know when it's your time and like you might not want to wear a condom, guys, but sometimes you know, condom or that money or you know that responsibility or that kid, you know, like you gotta realize if you don't like wearing it, there is a consequence for that. You know, that's a choice. You know, especially for the guys. Really, that's the one thing I do think. It, especially for the guys. There's a lot of guys out there that just they refuse to do it just for a feeling. You know, like they're like, not worried about doing that. I'll make her get birth control or something, but I'm not wearing one of those regardless on what you say. You know, and hey, shout out to him. I'm not hating on him. I'm just saying though, you are like I was able to have babies when I wanted to have kids. You know, like I wore condoms. I did that thing. I don't really agree with them, but I did wear them just to make sure. You know, unless I was in a relationship, you know, with a person, then I felt like okay, obviously if I'm in a relationship with a person, if that did happen, then we have to deal with that, and that'll be all right. But whenever it was like single mingling type situations, I definitely wore my condoms. I was not want to have, you know, any, you know, kids with women that I wasn't involved in. And it worked out for me. I didn't have my first kid till I was 29. So you can kind of plan this stuff out. It wasn't that hard for me to plan it. That was something I said I didn't want to do. I just didn't do it, you know? I know some people like, oh, I didn't have a choice. It just happened. Well, you know, you always have a choice. You know, there's always prevention. There's been, I'm pretty old here. I'm pretty sure during my time, everybody that's born around my era had the same option to go do what they wanted to do. So,
That's so true.
yeah.
It's all about thinking twice.
I think we need to have more things that are pushing us to become more. And I think that's one thing I will say out of this that it is forcing you to become more responsible. And I think there needs to be a lot more bills and policies out to make stop to get us from being dependent on something else and become more stronger as a person, as a you know, more smarter about things and more you know accountable for our actions because that's the biggest problem with life today. You know, in all your situation, there's a lot of people that are it's hard for them to put the responsibilities on themselves. They're always so quick to, you know, direct it onto something else or someone else or something else, or as long as there's something that you can push it towards. Like it was because of rap, it was because of this, it was because of that, as opposed to just being, you know, self aware and self understanding and self accountable for any of your actions that you do. Because at the end of the day, whether it was a good action or a bad action, you did it. It was your choice. You know what I'm saying? Like you knew that there could have been a negative effect in this situation. So you need to worry about how you can get better self control.
Do
How
you
you can
believe the people that do abortion are murderers, killers, or you don't think they consider that?
I'm a
How would you how would you put them in what um
I'd say I don't agree with it. Like I told you, I don't agree with abortion at all. Would I go as far as like I but you won't see me ever go to an abortion clinic and be like holding up my sign saying, "Oh, you're a murderer. You're a murderer." No, I'm not taking it that far. I don't agree with it. You know, that's my belief. I would never, you know, if I was in a situation where any girl, whether we were dating or not, got pregnant, I would keep that kid. I'll tell you, you better keep it. You know, and I'll be pushing for that. I'll probably even try to take you to court for it. But at the end of the day, that's the pro-choice side of me, and I do believe you have the right to do whatever you want. So that's why I don't, you know, these type of situations for me, it's just like, huh? Both sides got a point.
Tyler Sports said, I told my parents that I'd rather have kids when I get married. Yeah, but sometimes it doesn't happen how the plans occur. You know, sometimes it just happens because,
Yeah.
you know, you cannot plan something like that, you know.
Kids like for me, kids those are a couple of things that I wouldn't correlate with kids. Like a lot of people do, like you know, wait to marriage to have kids. Or I understand you're more developed. The only good part about that, I think, it's like you. If usually not most majority, because some people do just meet each other and get married, you know, do that crazy thing. But majority of people that get married, been in with each other for a while, you know, they understand each other. They want to build a family, build, you know, a future with the person. So then, yes, they both decide to go ahead and have a kid at that point. It's good too, but at the same time, it's just like, you know, relationships in general, like you can have a kid without even being with the person. Like you don't have to, That
Like you said
relationship,
earlier,
just like
like
having a kid is a choice, relationships a choice too. Like you don't have to be
yeah,
in a
like you
relationship.
said earlier, like gay people that they can't have kids of their own. What do they
Hmm.
do? Sometimes they
Hmm.
get best friends or friends, good friends, that they will do certain things like that for them. Like for
Hmm.
example, Ricky Martin, that's just what he did. He chose one of
Hmm.
his best friend that it was a female to carry his kids
Hmm.
and and help him out like that, so he can
Hmm.
become a parent himself.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
and it's like they would like I was reading an article and they was talking about like this actually helps put we have so much in society that's pushing you to be independent. That's really breaking down the whole family structure. What I'm saying, it doesn't really support people becoming families, and like this could be something that helps that situation where like now you're
mhm,
forced to want to have like I said, it's gonna make you more responsible who you actually have sex with, who you actually have unprotected sex with. What I'm saying? Now I'm not having unprotected sex. I was a person that went out and I had unprotected sex all the time, because there was an abortion. You can go get that. But now without getting that, you might change your thought about you not gonna go out there and just go have random sex anymore.
mhm,
It could be more in a situation where now you're waiting to have that unprotected sex with, someone that you love and make you make smarter choices in life in terms of how you deal with that situation to the point where now it's like, oh man, I'm gonna wait till I have my girlfriend at least before I have sex with her unprotectedly. Like I'm gonna have to either not have sex or strap it up until then. So those are gonna bring and that also takes away from all the babies that were born. And like you said, those people that don't want their kids after that is why, because they had that unprotected night. Yeah, they weren't strong enough to get
mhm,
the abortion, but now they got this baby and they really still don't want it. Like, I'm going crazy. I can't do it. I thought I could, I can't, but that's gonna make it so maybe now you actually, before you have that unprotected sex, you're gonna make sure you're in a relationship. You understand the person you're with. So that's brings a lot more accountability on people. And I really think that, that society is pushing you towards a less accountable world as opposed to pushing you to be a more accountable person. Like a lot of things, a lot of topics, a lot of people are really opinionated about and kind of get outraged about, I think, are really cop outs in terms of like you just need to be responsible at the end of the day. Like why we keep making excuses for responsibility and then shocked when you see such irresponsible things happening on a day-to-day basis. We're shocked about it, but then at the same time, we're not really doing anything to really push people to become more responsible. We're giving them other alternatives left and right for choice, but we're not making them be responsible. And when things are important like life and children and things like that, that's an important thing, and you need to. That should always be taken in a responsible light when you're making that decision on whether you're having it or not having it, whether and then when you do have it, or what you do want from that point on.
mhm. That's so true.
He said the Harriet Tubman. I lived in another northern state. Is there going to be another underground railroad of the oppressed southern women traveling to the north to get a medical procedure? Wow, yeah. If you notice that is the hugest areas that this will affect the most are the southern states. It's almost like it's kind of crazy because like this is one of those conspiracy things. I'm definitely gonna be talking to Ned. He did say he wanted to get in another show here short soon, so we're gonna definitely have another one of those on. But I was thinking about that, and I was looking at all the target areas, right? And most of them are southern states, and if you really look at it, it's kind of crazy. It's almost like it was a breeding ground, like this is a conspiracy type situation, where it's like, it was like they were like breeding grounds where it's like, yes, you do have the right not to have it, but we're trying to get the majority of it. They push both sides of it. Here's your abortion in case you don't want it, but we're pushing you to everything around the area is promoting you, like the music, the different culture is like promoting you to do it. You know what I'm saying? So, and so we can get these athletes and these special people. If you look at a lot of famous people come from the South, a lot, big physical species come from the South. So maybe I don't know. I think there's something to that a little bit. We're gonna definitely have to talk about that and see what's going on there. But like I said, everybody do have the choice though. Like I don't. I've always been like, we need to do something about the whole Constitution itself. It's written by some people that don't live here no more, that lived a different world, different lifestyle, different technology, different ways of life. We're bigger, we're smarter people, we're more creative people now than they probably were back then because we see a lot more things and do a lot more things. So it's like that. I, I'm not really for even like if I could, I probably would even go be what they call that when you're not regulated by the sovereign citizen. I probably would if I could, if I wasn't so tied up into what I am into in terms of the government and their system. Like I probably would be sovereign because I don't really believe that even the government has the right to tell us what to do. Like no one does. You should be able to live our life freedom without any kind of judgment. No one has the right. Like Tupac said, only God can judge me. And that, at the end of the day, I really feel like that would be the only person that can judge anybody on life. Like a person can never judge another person. A person should never tell another person what to do. But I also believe a person should not be able to control, but should not take another life as well. Like I don't think that's necessary. There's nothing that you should get that mad about. Like there's probably situation that can outrage me to want to take a person's life. I'm not saying I'm not human, but I'm just saying like your thought. There's so much other stuff and beautiful things in life, that you can be doing and worried about and enjoying and enjoying your time here, and then worry about death and negative things. For me, it's like, but hey, it's 50-50 on both sides. I'm pro life and I'm pro choice.
Understanding. I
So
think it depends on the circumstance.
yeah. What up, Big Simple? Thanks for stopping by, my guy. He said, went to a woman march. I did, and I did what's just listen. You just listened there at a woman's march. That's what's up. Supportive. Yeah, I think everybody should be supportive on what they do and their choices. But that's the beautiful thing of America too. Like if you want to get behind something, even for me, I'm an Eagles fan, so like we get behind the Eagles. You know what I'm saying? You got the right to be passionate too for what you believe in. So, as long as it's not violence, like I think protest should always be non-violence. You should be able to always talk it out. That's why I don't believe the structure of government system. It should be the structure. I believe back in the day the people ran the situation more than, a small group. Like the larger percentage of a place ran, the town or whatever, as opposed to like whenever there was someone in charge that wasn't doing what the people wanted, they were able to go and kick that guy out and put someone in that was going to do what the people wanted, type thing. And I think that that could have been that'd be a little bit better of a situation than just having these people control what we do.
Mhm. Yep, yep, yep. That's what it is.
I feel, I feel
The,
sorry for a
the
woman.
main thing is just be responsible, make the good choices. If not, it was gonna haunt you.
She said, "I feel sorry for women that have unusual pregnancies that can't carry full term and have to abort, but now they aren't even protected anymore." Yeah, but I think in those situations too, if you can't have a baby and full can't carry it full term and have to abort it, that's the key word, have to abort. Like, if there's something that's gonna make you die, that's I don't know if that's really considered like I feel like abortion is you choosing not to have the baby. Like that's something like you're not choosing you're choosing your life, like you can't do it, you can't hold it. That's one of those situations where I think it shouldn't even be classified as abortion. It should be classified as saving your own life. Like you had to terminate, something to save your life. So um but yeah, there's a lot of like I said, there's no right way right here. I see both sides being good. Ready Red in the building. What's up, my guy? So yeah, so I don't know. It's great. It's a great topic. That's what I thought it'd be good to talk about. It's very hot right now, and I know that there are people passionate on both sides, and I don't blame the protesters. I don't blame anybody for believing in what they believe in. Like I said, like before doing this, I watched a lot of interviews, but I segregated the interviews I watched. I just watched basic interviews about the case itself, and then I went and I watched, people that were celebrating about it. I wanted to hear like what are their reasons why they're celebrating about it. Then I went
Look at this one. Look at this comment right here from Richie MC. Says miscarriage happens to unexpected mothers. and some states wants to punish them with the belief that they committed abortion. That's not
But see,
right.
that's it. I don't think they can do that.
I
Like I
think that's
said,
not right.
if you do it, you're gonna have to clear that up there because, like I said, miscarriages that's not abortion.
That is different from an abortion.
Yeah, that's way different. Like you didn't control that.
Miscarriage happens
Most
without wanting, out of nowhere,
knowing you don't even know about
unexpected.
it half the time.
It's not really something that you make the choice to. Oh, I don't want this kid. Let me go take it out. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? That's an abortion. And miscarriage is like you might wake up and you start bleeding out, and that means you know
no,
it's not happening. So I don't think those two are together. But what
yeah,
he's trying to say that in some states they want to punish with the belief that they commit an abortion. So they want to believe those women that have in miscarriage that they went in having abortion.
yeah. Well, I think
That's
that
not right.
in those
I don't
states,
believe
that's
that.
not right. In those states, they need to go. Those people that that
Educate themselves.
yeah, educate themselves and get some legal counsel because there should be no
That's
reason why you get
stupid.
in trouble. Yeah, that's dumb. That's
Yeah.
dumb. But do you think that wouldn't make a lot of more people start doing this stuff? You know how you see, when you don't want the kid, sock me in my stomach or, fall down, fall down on purpose, to make that miscarriage happen. I think that's probably where that kind of stuff comes from too. The people that do that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
but some people don't even have to do all that, and they still have
Yeah, that's
a
true.
miscarriage. Some people just have they call infant where the women carry the babies when they carry the baby. What is it called? The womb.
Yep.
There's a sickness that some women have that is infantile, like it's young woman thing, and
Syndrome. Yes.
they can carry. Yeah, they can carry the baby for so long, and it comes out of no. It just comes, and they will get pregnant over and over again, but they can hold the baby.
Yeah.
Is that
That's
what you're
true.
telling me that they're killing the baby? They no, that's what I'm saying. I don't believe in that because there's women that they don't have no choice, and sometimes they're not healthy enough that happens to them without they even wanted to have a miscarriage. I know a lot of women that they even had 20, 10 that, or some of them that the baby is just there for 1 week, 2 weeks, and they have a miscarriage. It's just that healthy wise inside they don't have the strength, or they're not healthy enough, or some it's called something.
It's some kind of infant something syndrome, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, I've heard of that too.
And what
That's
about this
true.
when it says, what about when a woman does give birth to her child but her child does not make it? What about that?
What do you mean? What about that?
Yeah, what do
All
you think about
natural
that?
deaths, man.
I think
That's
that's sad. Or
that. They're all.
have you heard about the when they're pregnant and the heart starts beating, and then when they go to give birth the baby's dead inside of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's that too. Dude, I had a buddy. We played semi-professional football together, and this dude, man, he was married to his wife. They had I think one or two kids already, and man, like they were getting ready for this third kid or whatnot. He was all excited. Now, I think the wife had kids before, but this was going to be his first kids, and they were twins. And yeah, he was all, I'm not going to be able to play this a little bit. I'm going to go have my baby or whatnot. And came out, in the pregnancy, the mom died, and the kids
Yeah.
stayed
I'm
alive.
sorry.
That was hardcore. Like that's sad too. Like sometimes it's the other way around. The babies are born and the
Yeah.
mothers die and sacrificing the
Look
life.
at this one. That's exactly what I was talking about earlier. It says miscarriage. If the baby dies in the womb, the woman has to still carry the full 9 months without an abortion procedure
Mhm.
available. You think that's right?
I'm not gonna say that's right. Uh, I
That's
think we're
I think a
even,
woman
but
will be
I think
traumatized by that.
even with the abortion procedure, I still think the woman still feels the symptoms. So you're still gonna get all of that regardless.
I
Either
don't
way,
think you feel nothing.
huh?
I don't think they feel nothing.
You don't think so?
Well, there's nothing in there,
Well,
just like a
for
dead body.
miscarriage, like early
But isn't
miscarriages,
that bad for the body? Like to have a dead body inside of your stomach, isn't that can be cancering? Like later on in the future, they have to take the baby out. No,
I imagine so. I think I've heard a situation where the baby, yeah, it was just in there, but she just had to wait to that time to push it out. I think it matters how far along you are.
I don't think they push it out. I think they get a C-section. I think they gave them a emergency C-section. They don't let them push it out. Because to push it out, you have to have construction. How to say how to say the thing that when you get like the pain?
Contractions.
Yeah, and I think that because of that, that's when the baby's ready to come out. But if the baby's dead, what are you feeling? What are you gonna feel to come out? Nothing. So I think that once the 9 months period is done, I think they take you to
I don't
emergency
think.
C-section and they take it out like that.
I don't think I think that's just gonna happen regardless. I think that it happens regardless in that situation. The baby, I don't think the baby really controls that part of it. Does it?
I
Yeah,
think
the
they
baby's
don't
sitting there
because
until
isn't
it's
the
time to
baby
go.
pushes out when it's ready to come out?
Till your body says it doesn't want to hold this baby no more and forces it out, right?
I will not sit here and say that I know about that because I don't know. So I can,
Yeah.
who knows?
Uh,
How about other thing?
I don't know if you guys know in the chat how that works out. You can let us know because I'm confused on it. I always just thought that was just a. I heard that like there's people that they have to continue to carry the baby out, and they don't unless they want to get their body. But says some people that's their choice that they make. They don't want to get cut up on. So like you gotta
Okay.
carry it out and wait to that time. But I think that process probably is more like the same process of having a baby.
Hmm.
Especially it probably won't be as hard because the baby's not growing, so it's not really
Hmm.
getting bigger. The bigger the baby is, the harder it is to push it out. So it might not be as hard of a process, but I think you still go through the same process. Oh.
I don't know.
So you're basically the same too. You're just like either way, you're pro choice and pro life together.
I'm half and half. I'm gonna stay half and half because, like I told you earlier, in certain situations, there's no choice. In certain situations, there is a choice that you have to make that if you're not ready or like let's say you've been raped, when it comes to you being raped, I think that it should be okay.
Oh, okay, okay. Because you know how you can even talk about that one too. The situation where you're being raped, right?
Like right here,
But
look at that, look at like
but
this one. It says if
but
the
wait, wait, wait,
baby
wait.
is a
But what happened if you provoke well, I guess it's never right to rape. But I'm just saying like you really provoked. You know how there are people that that do provoke it. I'm not saying that's good right, but rape is right at all. But I'm just saying there are some situations that are provoked too.
like look at for example incest, raped. I think something like that. It should be okay to be having abortion because sometimes that happen. The incest and family members, or even your own father raping you, your own cousins, I
Incest.
think
Yeah.
like that. Yes, yes,
That's you know, that's a whole nother show. Incest thing, like
yeah.
because like that's the whole thing too. Like there are cousins and stuff in certain states and stuff that have babies and stuff together, and then people always say it's supposed to come out disabled or whatnot. And they come out perfectly fine, and they have those babies, and they
Half
feel
of
those
the
emotions.
time, you just like gambling because sometimes they come disabled.
Yeah, but I just think, but sometimes normal kids come out disabled. I think the percentage of that is still just
And there's
probably
a lot of women that they don't even know that they never even realized that they were pregnant. I heard a lot of stories like that. A lot of women, half of the women don't even know that or realize that they were pregnant into 7 months or when they were at birth, about to give birth. I'm like, how are you not gonna know? Isn't you feel the baby kick? Even you feel the baby move? There's no possible way that you're not gonna know for 7 months, 9 months that. So what do you think is moving inside of your stuff? You constipated.
right. I seen that happen both ways. Yeah, man, that's crazy.
There's no
I've
people.
seen
Do you
I've seen
believe
people
that?
that
There's no
didn't
way
even have
possible.
their stomach grow at all.
Why they think they're retaining shit?
Yeah, I've seen people that didn't even grow like it didn't even look like they growed any like physically like their stomach didn't really go that big until like the ninth month. They like didn't find out to the very end that they were pregnant.
And even if you don't think so, there's a lot of women that don't show that they're pregnant. Like their stomach don't grow.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah,
Yeah,
I know a couple of girls like that. And that's crazy too.
yeah. Oh shit. That's
This is a
okay.
crazy world. There's nothing like I said. That's the beautiful thing about balance is there's nothing that's consistent. You know, there's no real way of anything because for what we think is real way, is somebody else's wrong way, and vice versa. You know, so what we think is the wrong way, somebody else's right way, and whatever. So there's many different options. There are many different people. You know, I am not against killing innocent people. You know, at all. So you know, but I'm
Mm,
also, but I'm not, but I'm not with taking away the right of anybody that's living. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to have that right. You know what I'm saying to do whatever you want. It is your life. You know, I don't, but
yeah.
that's who cares. If you really look at it that way, like I said, it's more than bigger than just this Wade Rose situation where it's like talking about abortions or gay marriages or whatever. It's about life in general. Like I take it to the full extent. Like I really don't think anybody has the right to tell anybody to do anything. Like,
Says, do you
period.
guys remember the reality TV show Teen Moms? Yes.
Hmm.
Even there's a show called Unexpected. I don't know if you have
Hmm.
seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
Well, it was a good talk. This was a good conversation. It was
Hmm.
interesting. We kind of heard from other people what they believe and their pros or cons with it, and a lot of people agree that in certain situations it should not be acceptable.
Yeah, it's definitely in a lot of situations it shouldn't be accepted. So at the end of the day, guys, let's just work on being more responsible. You know what I'm saying? Let's work on being more aware. Let's educate ourselves and help get the education we need to people so they can make better choices. This starts with parents in general. Once you have that for the baby that you did have, it's your responsibility to go out there and give that baby every good piece of information you can so that baby can make the best, most responsible decisions throughout his time in this on this earth. So, it starts there with self responsibility. Let's make sure we're making the right choices. Let's make sure that if we are going to go out there and have some fun, we're doing it the right way, the safe way. So we don't even have to worry about the decisions. You won't have to put yourself through the decision of making, because it is a huge decision whether you're going to keep a baby or not keep a baby. Like that's big, regardless of how you.
There's nothing to make a baby with love. That's all I can
Mhm,
say. It's
mhm,
nothing like having a baby with love, passion. Oh my God,
mhm,
that's the best product, I
mhm.
think, in my eyes.
There you go. Well, like you said, it was a great show. You guys make sure you guys hit that like. Make sure you travel over to all channels. Miss Maricruz. All links are inside the description. BGN Entertainment. We're definitely gonna keep bringing you this great
Good
show
topic.
called The Real Great Topics. And we're gonna keep them going. The show with Net's supposed to be coming up this next week, so we're gonna to get back into that, and we're gonna see if we can tie any of this into that because I think that'd be fun too. So you guys, and also you guys be part of the show. Leave comments on things that you want to hear us talk about too. We keep saying this. This is your show as much as ours. Make sure you leave those comments. Hit that like, subscribe to all channels, and leave your comments. Let us know what you want to hear from us about. So much love to you. Do you have any final words, Miss Mary Cruz?
Nothing. Thank you for tuning in and comment and be part of this conversation. We had fun talking to you guys and, having this interesting, juicy conversation.
Juicy conversation. That's what we're about. We want the juiciest conversation. We're
Exactly.
gonna look for hey,
Exactly.
it keeps us
Real
busy,
life shit.
right? So you guys have a safe and a blessed rest of your Tuesday day. Think positive, be great, and we out. Peace.
Peace.